What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be wrapping up my series of backpack videos. I've done my EDC backpack video, I've done my day pack backpack, and now I'm going to be doing the last one, my backpacking backpack. Now, when most people hear backpacking backpack, I think a lot of people tend to think about like Pacific Coast Trail or Appalachian Trail, something that you're doing like a super long, hundreds of miles type trek. So this is not that pack. This is more for people who are looking for something casual user, but you also want to have a decent amount of capabilities when you're out there. So I'm not counting every single little ounce with this. This is more the types of trips that I do with this pack is like I'll trek 20 miles, maybe set up camp, have a destination and then hike back, or I'll do segmented stops where I'll set up camp in one place, pack it up the next day, and then camp at another site further down the trail. So that's the kind of pack that this is. And it's kind of like a bug out bag, so it serves multiple purposes. If you pay attention to any of my videos, I like stuff that fits multiple categories as opposed to just one little niche. So as you can see, I have like a hatchet and stuff. So again, it's not super light, but I can still move. I'm like agile, I can run, I can jump, I can do all the things, and it's not crazy, unnecessary things, but I like to have capabilities when I get out there and I like to be comfortable. So I figured I'd start this video with the pack on as opposed to going through and then showing that at the end. So I'll just give you a little 360 where you can see what it looks like on. So it's not, the smallest pack, but not gigantic. And unfortunately, this pack they no longer make. This is the Kelty Red Cloud 90, so it is a 90-liter pack. I still have a ton of room in this thing that if I wanted to pack out more, like in a bug out situation or something like that, but I just have the basic needs that I normally keep in here. I will show at the end, and I'll link some photos and stuff up here where there's some alternatives to this pack. There's a few different ones that I haven't tried them, but I've done a decent amount of research and I think they'll be comparable to this. One of them is the Kelty Coyote 80. It's the successor to this pack, so I'd imagine it's pretty similar and they've probably done some upgrades that are even better than this one. So while the pack is on, I'll just show you some of the quick little features here, and then we'll tear into the inside so you can see everything that I've got loaded out in here. So on most of my packs where I'm out hiking, I like to carry a fixed blade. This is normally where I mount it. I just zip tie it on. There's not really any better way with this particular blade, so I just zip tie the sheath on there. But I like to keep a fixed blade just on the shoulder. One, it's nice to have quick access to if you're trying to cut some sticks or whatever, but I also like it because I'm in Arizona and in the mountains and in the desert, mountain lions are a legitimate threat. So at least I have something, if I were to get pounced on, I have a quick blade to grab. I know that would be the worst case scenario, but just in case, I like to be prepared. So that's here. I like how I have these little pouches here. So I usually keep, and I think I might have, I like to keep snacks in these little pouches up front, just when you get a little bit hungry on the trail. And you got an adjustable sternum strap so you can raise and lower. It's a common feature with most of these bags. And that's pretty much it as far as on body, so you can check that out. And now we'll tear into the inside. In typical fashion, we will start from the outside and work our way in. And I'm not going to mention every single little feature on the pack, but the ones that I do mention, just pay attention to, because those are ones that I really like about this pack and that you should look for in a pack that's still on the market. So one of them being this suspension system here. So this has an adjustable, I don't know if you call it like the back rest or whatever, but you can actually slide this back piece up and down depending on how the shape of your torso and how big your torso is. And then it also actually raises the pack taller or lower. So if I put this all the way down, then the pack would actually sit higher above my head. And then if I moved it up, it would sit further towards my butt, if that makes any sense. So that's one feature I liked. I obviously have it dialed into my specific body, but I noticed that made a difference in terms of comfort. And looking at the top zipper here, we'll just work our way through this. In here, I keep a rain fly for the backpack. So it's a rain cover in case you get rain. rarely ever it's actually never happened to me, but I still carry it just in case, because the last thing I want is just all my stuff to get wet. So I keep, it's pretty lightweight, so I keep that in there. And then I also keep a first aid kit in this top that's quick access. So this is really more like a trauma kit. So I keep an Israeli bandage in here. I keep some gauze, and then there's like a little boo-boo kit, some bleed stops. So really it's more for major trauma or little cuts and scrapes, but nothing too insane with that. And that's really all I keep in the brain of this first pouch of the brain. There's another pouch at the top here, or zipper I should say. And here is where I keep my work gloves. I know, again, like I said, it's not the super lightest weight of pack, but I just want to wear gloves and prevent any sort of injury. Going back to the first aid, I'd rather not have to use it. So when I'm processing wood, moving rocks, whatever you need to do, obviously you can use your imagination with some gloves, but I like those ones. I have my fire kit in the top as well. So this is kind of backup. So I have waterproof matches in this waterproof container here. Then I have a fire starter. So this is Light My Fire, I believe is what it's called. It's my favorite fire, like flint. So that one's pretty sweet. And then these are fire starter cubes. If you never use these, and I'm actually gonna do a video, I think, on fire maintenance at some point, but these fire cubes are a game changer for sure. It makes making a fire super easy, so I highly recommend those. And then lastly, this is a pocket bellow. I showed this in the past, but this is also a game changer. Unfortunately, and this will be kind of a theme throughout the video, is a lot of this stuff I've been carrying for 10 plus years, so they don't make a lot of it. And it's like, hey man, if it's not broke, why are we trying to fix it? But I'll show some alternatives to the things that you're gonna see in the pack, but they don't make this thing anymore. And this helps fire maintenance 100%. Love this thing. It's changed the game for sure. So that's it for the brain. Now the brain, actually, it clips on just like other packs do, but you have this hood and you can actually take this fully off. That's one feature that I like, that if you pull this out here, there's actually a buckle here. So this whole thing will remove, and then you can actually use it as like a fanny pack. So I've done some like fishing trips and stuff where carried my whole backpack down, and then I want like a smaller pack to carry with me while I'm down, like fishing or doing whatever else. And it's kind of cool to be able to just put this on like a lumbar pack or a fanny pack. So I do like that feature about this bag as well. Moving to this side, we have this little side zipper. On both sides is kind of my water setup. So this is my Katadyn water filter. I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with this, but I'll just kind of show you real quickly. So it's basically just a pump system where you throw this into the body of water, and then you hook up the clean hose to the other side, and then you can pump into your water bottle. And while we're on this, one thing that I really like, and I think this is what their intention was, but with these Nalgenes, that's what I keep in this water bottle pouch, obviously. The Nalgene, this fits directly into the Nalgene and it locks into place so it doesn't really fall out, and it makes it really easy to pump. You can set your water bottle down and then you can pump that Katadyn. Now, looking at the other side, so that was all that was in this one. The other one that's on this side, I keep another Nalgene product, and this is a Nalgene Canteen. So this is like a collapsible water jug, and I think it holds, so it's 96 ounces that this holds. So instead of having to go back to the water source and keep filling up a Nalgene, you can fill up this dude, and it also has the same lid, so it makes it really easy to pump into. So I really, really like these Nalgene Canteens. Pretty sweet. And that was all, again, that was in this one. Then with these pouches, there's space behind the pouch here where you can slip in things. So this is where I slip in my Husqvarna little hatchet. So depending on the trip, I will take this or leave it, just depending how my weight is looking. But I do enjoy having the ability to have a hatchet out there. It makes wood processing much, much easier. And then I also have slipped in there my Agua Canyon Boreal 21. I've showed this on my channel several times, but just for anybody who has not seen it, this is a folding saw. So camp saw, super awesome to have that. It's really lightweight, so it doesn't add too much weight to the setup. And that is it on this side of the pack. Now on the other side, this is where I keep my one little camp trowel. So I know they make other ones that are like titanium or whatever, and this is just a super cheap one. Everybody's seen these little Cocoon red or orange ones, but it's like, dude, I'm shoveling a poop hole, so I don't really need to spend 30 bucks on a shovel. And then I have my tent poles. I'll show you the tent on the inside, obviously, but these are just the tent poles that I keep slid in the side there. And now moving to the front pouch here. So we got a zippered pouch on the front. Also, you got these little loops here that I can hang carabiners from and hang whatever other equipment. I try not to have, like, I don't know if you've seen like old school dudes with like pots and pans hanging out. Not trying to be like that, but if I ever want to hook anything on in a pinch, I'll do that on these little daisy chains here. Got two pouches here, and then just like a front dump area. So that's where I keep my coffee pour over, my little GSI coffee pour over, and then a plate just to have. I think it's convenient. I know it adds a little bit of weight, but I think it's convenient to have a plate when you're out there. And then in this pouch, I keep a little, it's called a spool tool. This has a spool of paracord with a lighter here, and then there's a little cutter on the side, so you can measure out however much paracord you want, cut it off, and then you still have it spooled up. So this is a pretty cool little tool. I'll see, I don't know if they make this anymore, but I'll try to link it if they do. I like that spool tool. Then over here is kind of like hygiene, I guess. So I just keep some TP rolled up there. I keep, oh, this isn't really hygiene, but this is kind of a random one, but this is a thermometer. I don't know what it is, but I just like to know what the heck the temperature is at wherever I'm camping, to know if like, oh man, when we were there it was 20 degrees. So I just like to have a little thermometer. I know it does add weight, but I just like it. So I keep it in there. And then I also keep little toothpaste tabs. These are just toothpaste tabs. You throw in your mouth, chew them up, and then you can brush your teeth. This is a little tiny little folding little toothbrush that I like, so that's pretty sweet. Just a little cheapie. It comes in like a pack of 4 or whatever. So that is hygiene, and that is all that I really keep in this front area. I don't like to have a ton of weight towards the front just because you feel kind of like you're gonna fall over, I guess. But that is it for that front zipper. And now, before we get into the main guts, this is a feature that I personally prefer in a pack. Now, my wife has a Deuter backpack that does not do this. I prefer packs that are front loading and also top loading. The Deuter backpack that she has, it is a good backpack, but it's only top loading. So you have to go in through the top only to get to the internals. So I prefer the ability to, you just unclip these clips on the side here that's kind of cinching everything together. And then you have the ability to open the pack up and get access to the front of the pack as well. And there's like this mesh liner that kind of keeps everything tight in there. And you can access what other stuff you want that's lower to the bottom, like my cooking setup down here. If I wanted to get that without having to remove the stuff on top, you have the ability to do that through here. So, and then when I'm talking about top loading, then you can also, obviously, there's this cinch clip up here that you can open up this compression part. And this also, I mean, if you really wanted to, load this thing up, you could have it all the way filled up to here. But you can access stuff through the top here as well. So I like having both of those options. It's kind of like my EDC backpack that's panel loading and top loading as well. So it's just a, personal preference. But we'll go into through the front here so I can show you. And I'm gonna give you just some ideas as well. This isn't all the food that I always carry. I just kind of put some stuff in here real quickly. These are just some of my favorite food items that are easy, affordable, and pretty tasty. So you got Spam. I don't know if people are Spam haters or not, but Spam is pretty good as a, it's a canned meat. So you can have some meat out in the wilderness without having to refrigerate it or anything. And then normally I'll keep my food in a gallon Ziploc. So all the trips that I've gone on, I've been able to fit pretty much all of my food in this one contained Ziploc, and then you can use the Ziploc at the end for trash or whatever you want. But real quickly, I'll just go through some of the food things that I normally will take with me that are easy. So I like these Quaker instant oatmeals. Those are awesome and easy. You just add hot water, you're good to go. They're nice, hearty breakfasts. These little Knorr's pasta sides, they make other ones like rice and a variety of different flavors, but these you just put hot water in, boil it, and then you have some fettuccine alfredo out there. Also, instant mashed potatoes. So I really like these. They're actually pretty tasty. I don't know. I used to be an instant mashed potato hater, and then you can spice them up. I've thrown beef jerky in these, and you can make a quick little meal out of that. You could even throw the Spam in this. So just add hot water to that. My favorite little tunas. I'm the type of guy, I pretty much need meat almost for every meal. So that's why I really like these tunas. So my favorite flavor is the jalapeno one. Try these out if you've never tried them. Then I have some little liquid IVs. So it's sometimes you get bored of drinking the water that's out there, just to spice it up a little bit. These ones are the strawberry flavor. That's the ones I like. But it's nice to just have kind of like a Gatorade when you're out there. I also like these little Go-Go Squeeze apple sauces. Pretty tasty. This featured in my coffee video, but these are little Kuju coffees, instant coffees. They're like a little instant coffee that you can, it's like a little tea bag in there essentially, but it makes making coffee very easy. And then some cutlery. This is a fork, knife, spoon combo. And then I only threw this one in here. This is a titanium spoon. I like these if I ever end up bringing a mountain house. It's a little bit longer of a spoon, and it's easier to get into the mountain house without getting your hands all grubby from the sauce and all that stuff. So, and then I also keep a few extra Ziploc gallons for trash or whatever if I want to pack that out, which, public service reminder, pack out your trash if you can. And I'll try to slide some of this stuff out of the way. And then I keep a little bottle of oil. So this is cooking oil, depending on what I'm bringing. I really like these spill-proof little squeeze bottles by Oxo. They're pretty cool. And then I have some salt, pepper, sugar, cinnamon. So this will be for coffee. This will be for obviously cooking. Fishing trips does help to have some salt and pepper if you're going to cook some fresh fish out there. Highly recommend that. Then I have my little cup here. This is just coffee cup, and I'll also eat oatmeal and stuff out of this, so multi-purpose with that. And then my cooking setup. I'm not going to go too heavily into this, but this is just a little GSI Halulite Boiler. This is the whole stove setup. So I have, and I featured this in other videos, I have some coffee in there, a little bandana, my MSR pocket rocket, some fuel, lighter. So that's all one contained little thing there. Now we get to the sleep setup. So this is a Cocoon mummy liner. This is like a giant sock for your body. I don't know if anybody, like the material for like sleeping bags is kind of similar to this. I get kind of sweaty in sleeping bags just because of the material. And this is basically like a sock for your whole body that makes it feel like a sheet in between you and the sleeping bag. So, and it also provides a little bit of warmth. So I really like these guys. Then I have a Climate, what is this called? Static V Recon. So just a sleeping pad. It's inflatable. You blow it up with your mouth. And one's pretty comfortable. And then this is my tent. I'll set it up for you. They don't make this anymore. I'll drop a similar one, but this is a pretty lightweight, pretty compact, and it can sleep 2 people. My wife and I, we've both slept in this, and I actually really like this. It's the Kelty Salida or Salida, forget how you say it, 2. They don't make it anymore, but I'll drop one that is kind of similar to it. And then the stakes for that. And then this Sunyear chair. I'll also set this up when I set up the tent so you can see what it's like, but it's just a collapsible chair. Like I said in the beginning, I like to be comfortable. So again, I know it's like, oh, you don't need a chair. You could go without the gloves. You could do without. this is what I find the most comfortable. And when I get to where I'm going, I want to relax, and it's not like I'm trying to rough it out there. So having a chair makes it a lot more enjoyable when you're sitting next to the campfire, as opposed to sitting on a rock or the ground or whatever. And I just like this chair. So just some points there. And then this is my clothes bag. So I'll usually be able to fit everything in these compression sacks. So this was like a kit of compression sacks that I bought, and I'll fit all of my clothes in here. Right now I just have a couple jackets just for the video, but most of the time I can fit all of my clothes, jacket, whatever in that. And that's it in the main garage of the pack. Then you have a bottom portion here that you could also, if you wanted to, I know I've seen people do sleeping pads and stuff strapped across the bottom here, but I don't do that. But this little bottom portion is where my sleeping bag is. So I also keep a little pillow. This is a tiny little pillow. I don't like the inflatable ones. I know some people do. I just personally don't, but this has been comfortable enough for me, and I do enjoy that little pillow. And then this is a Recon 5 sleeping bag. So this is synthetic down. So if it gets wet, it dries out really quick. True down, if you get it wet, you're kind of screwed. So I wanted to opt for the synthetic down. This is negative 20C, so it's a really warm bag. The last time we went camping, it was in the teens. I wasn't cold at all with this Cocoon and this sleeping bag. So these sleeping bags are pretty sweet, nice and compact, lightweight. Can't recommend these ones enough. And that is it. So that is all of what I bring with me. Now, normally you'll have some water. I don't know, sometimes I'll do like a water bladder in there, because there is a water bladder port in here. But when you factor in the water, if you actually bring all the food, all my clothes, I'm typically running this bag at about anywhere from 40 to 50 pounds maximum. I think the last trip that I went on, it was 46 pounds. All of what you just saw here was 33 pounds. So in my estimation, that's a pretty light pack for the amount of gear that I'm bringing and the amount of comfort that I have and the amount of capabilities that I have. Sometimes I'll bring a firearm depending on, and that's when it was one of my heavier packs, is when I brought my firearm. But overall, I think it's relatively light. It's super practical. You're going to have the most capabilities, and you're going to be crazy comfortable. So I'll show you the tent setup, the chair setup, and then we'll wrap it up. Here's the tent all set up. Got the chair there as well. And you can tell you could easily fit 2 people. I mean, maybe even 3 if you're real tight, but definitely 2 people and a dog. I've done my wife and I and solo trips in this thing. And one of my favorite things about this tent is the way the tent pole is set up. So these little clips here, I don't know if you can tell, but these just clip on here and you twist it and they pop right on. So you don't have to feed it through the actual tent material. I don't know if you've ever seen those, but you like actually feed it through some sort of slot in the tent, and I don't like that. This sets up in, like, I set up maybe 30 seconds. So really like this tent, and then I'll show you real quick with the vestibule on as well, so you can check that out. Here she is with the fly and vestibule on. So you could tell that there was a ton of airflow without it on if it was a hotter, type summer trip. And then if it's colder, you obviously want to put the fly on. And then I like how this vestibule works as well, as you can tie this guy back, and then you got space in there to keep your backpack, your boots, whatever you don't want actually taking up space inside of the tent with you. So it's a nice little feature there. And this tent has been working out really great for me. The fly is also really easy to put on too. All you do is fling it over, and then there's 4 buckles on each corner like that, and then it's on. And then obviously you gotta stake everything out. But overall, love this tent. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is no longer made, unfortunately, and I wish they still made all this stuff so you guys could check it out. I know I said I would drop some pictures of those other backpacks. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put them in the description. There's a Mystery Ranch one, there's a Deuter one, there's a Osprey. So just take a look at those. If you have any questions, let me know, and I can try to help you pick out one that might be the best fit for you. But other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.